Alright, so this past weekend, Transformers 1 released into theaters. This is one of my most anticipated movies of the year. I am a huge Transformers fan. What did I think about it? Here's my review. Alright, before we get started, I want to know your opinions on Transformers 1 down below in the comment section. If you haven't seen it, what's your anticipation level for it? Do you think it's as good as the Michael Bay films if you have seen it? I want to know all that and more down below in the comment section. While you're down there, subscribe, hit the like button, and hit the bell so you never miss another video. Some context for me, I'm a Transformers fan. I do enjoy the Transformers movies, even though I find that a lot of Michael Bay's movies are bad. I do at least have a little tiny bit of enjoyment with all of them except one, which there will be a ranking in the coming days. You'll find out which one that is. But I was looking forward to this movie because right when it was announced, I liked the plot, I liked the idea, everything about it sounded great. And then I saw the first trailer, and I was a little bit worried for the movie. Thought it looked a little too childish. But then the second trailer came out, and my hype level goes from a little low to all the way back up. So I was very excited to check out this movie. Then with all the early screenings, everybody started to say that this was one of the best Transformers movies. It's up there with Into the Spider-Verse. I was getting excited for this movie. What did I think about it? I will tell you right here in this video, and here we go. Does Transformers 1 live up to Into the Spider-Verse? No. No. It's not as near as good as that movie. It's not as near as good as some of the best Michael Bay movies. It's actually kind of a disappointing movie, in my opinion. I don't hate this movie. I don't dislike this movie. I think it's good. I'm still going to give it a positive score. But I thought it was just a little bit, what's the word for it? Frustrating? Kind of. At least the characters were frustrating, because we'll get on to that here in a little bit. First, I want to talk about things I liked, and there are quite a few here. First of all, Megatron was awesome in this movie. Brian Tyree Henry voices him incredibly. He's super menacing. His whole arc in the movie, from when we learn who the real villain is of the movie, just his whole arc from that point on was pretty great. And when he turns into Megatron, I thought that was easily the best part of the movie, and that's what I was here for, was to see Megatron's transformation, and Megatron's transformation was pretty good. I did like that. Speaking of Brian Tyree Henry, the rest of the voice cast is pretty good as well. Chris Hemsworth, not as near as good as Peter Cullen will be, but nobody will ever be able to do Peter Cullen. So for the character of Optimus Prime, I think Chris Hemsworth was solid. When he does his speeches, I think he sounds good. He's solid in the movie. Keegan-Michael Key as Bumblebee, I thought was pretty good. All the laughs I had came from Bumblebee. There was one part with the Badassatron joke that it did start to get overplayed, but one sequence with it I did find funny. Several sequences with this character I found funny and kind of captured the character of Bumblebee. Scarlett Johansson voices the lady robot. I can't remember her name right now, but she is solid in this movie. So the whole voice cast of our main characters and everybody else is solid. The voice cast here is pretty good. I did like that. There are some thrilling action sequences. Every action sequence in this movie I thought was pretty good. They're not perfect. It's animation, so it's not going to live up to the spectacle of Michael Bay's movies. But all of them, especially like the finale action sequence, I thought was good. There was intense sequences in there. Characters dying that you genuinely thought would die. My jaw was on the floor several sequences during the finale of the movie. I thought that was pretty good. So, yeah, there's several positives that I had with this movie. I did enjoy watching it. My brother thought it was a great movie. But for me, I kind of was a little disappointed. And there's so much of this movie that I felt was mixed. And that comes from the characters. Watching all of the Michael Bay movies and seeing Optimus Prime as like this leader. He's the leader of the Autobots. When he transforms into the leader of the Autobots, it's good in the end. I like his character then. But before he's that, you know what he does? He gets everyone into trouble. He's like a troubled teenager, is what he feels like. Where he's going off on these adventures that disrespect the leader that he is. That's not Optimus Prime's character, and I just found myself very frustrated with him. Where he just felt like a teenager. And it really didn't work. And the transformation in the end, when you turn into Optimus Prime, that's great stuff. But the character of him, I don't think really worked. Where he's joking around with Megatron. He's disrespecting authority. I just found myself really frustrated, making jokes. He's supposed to be the serious Autobot leader, and the whole movie he's just kind of this troubled teenager defying people. I didn't really buy him. I didn't buy that character. That's the whole problem with this movie, is that the whole movie, watching it, I could not help but think, this is not the character of Optimus Prime. It's not. And I know it's a different Transformers movie, but for me, who grew up with the Michael Bay movies, I kind of could not help but just not like Optimus Prime's character whatsoever, and just kind of took away from the experience of the movie. Alongside that, the animation. I don't like the animation at all. I really don't. Even from the first trailer, it was just really iffy. The whole animation kind of looks like a little TV movie that you'd find on Nickelodeon. I know that a lot of people love the animation. I know that a lot of people love a lot of things that I'm complaining about, but this animation style it's not for me. It looks kind of cheap. And for the world of Cybertron that's supposed to be big and massive, I just wasn't a fan of the animation. I'm glad that everybody else loves the animation, but for me, just was not for me. So, the things that I just don't like that, things that really adhered to the experience, was the animation and Optimus Prime's character, things that just take me out of this story. Things that I feel like should work, but they don't, because they're just kind of messed up along the way. I did not really like that. Another thing I did really like about the movie was the villain. We're gonna kind of go to the spoiler territories here, so there will be spoilers, just brief spoilers, but having it be villain that it was, the leader of it all, I really liked. From the moment he was on screen, I felt that, yeah, he is a little bit, could be a bad guy. And then when it was confirmed, I did like that. I did like the villain of this movie. He had an engaging premise. He was intense when he needed to be. I did like him, but that's just another positive on an overall frustrating movie. I think if you nailed the character of Optimus Prime, I would love this one much more. The animation doesn't really take away from it. It's the character of Optimus Prime, the characters here, that I just kind of felt took away from the experience. There's also some story inconsistencies along the ways here, where several times I was scratching my head like, why didn't you just do this or do that? Pretty simple, right? But overall, I did enjoy the movie. I did have a fun enough time with the movie. There's just things that really adhered to the experience that I think this could have been an A+ movie. 10 out of 10, one of the best movies, but Optimus Prime's character, some story inconsistencies really frustrated this movie for me. So what's going to be my final score for this movie before we do that? Again, make sure to comment down below. What is your opinion on Transformers 1? Want to know all that down below and more. Make sure to subscribe, like button, hit the bell so you don't miss another video. Stay tuned for the coming days. There will be a Transformers ranking and then a summer movies rank. The summer movies ranked will be the next video I do. Planned on being now, but I just didn't have time to film that huge video. Transformers 1 is solid enough. I do think the action sequences, it's entertaining. I did enjoy the movie. But overall, it's a movie that's frustrating because the character of Optimus Prime just feels incredibly frustrating for me. Wasn't a fan of the animation. There were quite a few story inconsistencies. So Transformers 1, I think, was solid. It's gonna get a B from me. Yeah, I know a B is a good score. It's a good score for a movie. But for me, who is expecting an A+ movie, just cannot help but feel a little bit disappointed. Again, comment down below what is your opinions on Transformers 1. Stay tuned for all those upcoming videos. Go subscribe to my second channel if you want to get engaged in some football content. I predict all the football games every single week. And with that said, subscribe to the Nerd Army. Peace out.